Hi there, Loy Machedo speaking to you from loymachedo.com. Who's Loy Machedo and Think Personal Branding. Today I just want to do the resume rebrand and re-evaluation of a youngster who apparently has been applying in the Middle East and he has not been getting a response. So he sent me his resume and let's check it out. So this is his resume. Obviously I have censored his face and identity and changed the major part of the details. So let's go through it. So as of now, you can see it's a 2-page resume. He has used, what font? He has used a normal sans font. But what I'll do is obviously, if you know me, you know that I change this. So I go to, let's say, Google Docs. I open one Google Docs. I open wordcounter.net. And I also open up remove HTML. So those of you who have been checking my channel, you know that I use remove HTML, that is to remove all the formatting. You can go to striphtml.com. Okay, wordcounter.net is to know how many words and characters are there, and Google Docs, where it's easy to create and share documents. So I prefer using Google Docs. So in the first, let's go to Google Docs and let's write down here resume. Okay, and you know, the first comment I'd like to give you is this photograph that he has put here. Obviously I have censored his face. You can see, you know, the disheveled hair, the very boyish kind of look, the unprofessional. It's not high graphics, or it's not a really well done photograph. So this itself can lose you points. Okay, so then I take his entire resume and I put it in strip HTML, so it removes all the formatting, and then I paste it on Google Docs. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll change it to Railway. Okay, that's my favorite font, and I'll give it 14, so it's slightly big for you guys so you can see it. So I'm just using his resume here as just refer. So obviously here he has stated his name. After stating his name, if you look at this, he has stated his name, and then he has stated he's from Mangalore, Karnataka. He has stated which part of India he's from. He has stated his date of birth. He has stated his passport number, his email address, and phone number. Now, let's understand this. Nobody cares which part of India you're from, so this is of no use. Nobody gives a damn about your date of birth, so this is of no use. You should never give your passport number. So the only thing that is important is his email address and telephone number. And obviously I've changed his email, his telephone number, and you know, his other details. So if I were to go here, I would only use his email address and his telephone number. Okay, so as of now, I do not know if this is sorry, remove. Okay, so as of now, what I'm doing is I put this in the header. Okay, I'll put this information in the header. I do not know what is his specialization, so normally I save the second line for specialization. So I'll give this an 18 and I'll make this bold. Okay, now right in the beginning he states his career objectives. Well, let's read his career objectives. To pursue a challenging career and be part of a progressive organization that gives scope to enhance my knowledge and utilize my skill towards the growth of the organization. So nobody cares about your objective. No company in the world cares about your objective. They just care about their objective. So obviously, if you know me, you would know that I always like to give the background a kind of a nice look. Okay, so we'll just get rid of this. Borders and shading, we'll just put none. Okay, so this makes it look a little nice. At least it grabs the attention. So obviously, we always start with profile summary. Profile summary. So this is a summary of who you are, what you are. You put it here. Then he goes on to work experience. So we have experience. So let's check his experience. He uses a very different kind of language, like as if he's talking to someone. I have 6 months of working experience with ABC System Pune as a trainee engineer from August 2017 to 2018. So you have been a trainee engineer. So trainee engineer now for ABC Systems. Okay, You just need to put India. Okay, you don't need to put which part of India and all that. ABC systems from, and right at the outset, the first problem that I see is he's a trainee. So when you are a trainee, when you're someone new, you can't expect to get a job. Okay, he says he's a trainee, and then he says he's presently working in XYZ metal products as a procurement engineer. So which one are you? Are you a trainee? Okay, so he says from February 2018 to present. Okay, so you're working as a procurement and project engineer for XYZ metal products. Okay, and that is in India. Okay, so if I were him, I would put this first and I would put the engineer second. In fact, I wouldn't even put training engineer. I would just put engineering assistant, engineer for ABC. Just put engineer. Don't need to put training. Okay, because if you put training, nobody wants a training. Now, next one, he puts his his expertise, which is expertise. So he purchase and projects related all responsibility, new vendor development, price negotiation. Okay, so this is what he is to do there: new vendor development, price negotiation with vendor, PO release, material delivery, payment, commitment to the project vendor. Okay, all these things that you're talking about, these are his day-to-day responsibilities. We'll use it later on. So making a whole structure, I'm kind of confused. What is he putting in his CV? So he has put what he's doing in XYZ metal products. He has put his day-to-day responsibilities. Okay, it kind of makes sense. So day-to-day, I'm just putting as a heading, day-to-day responsibilities. Okay, we'll just give it a bullet points. Making a whole structure, scheduling and track of multi-projects. Okay, so he has done scheduling, tracking of multi-projects. Okay, I'm just breaking this down into bullet points, and making a report. Okay, for closing. Okay, report writing. Okay, expertise in global sourcing. So that's procurement, and value creation to business. You don't need to have fancy language. Well versed in identifying cost reduction opportunities. So we'll just put that as it is. Let's see what. Perform demand and supply analysis and define procurement strategy. Sounds fancy. When you say perform demand and supply analysis and defining procurement strategy, it's vague terms. Techno-commercial negotiations and optimizing total cost. I don't understand what is techno-commercial. It sounds more like a nightclub. Knowledge in imports, freight. What is Incoterms? Incoterms, freight customs clearing process. So you have knowledge of imports, freight, customs and clearance process. Okay, I'm pretty bad at spelling freight and clearance. Okay, stakeholder management. When you are a youngster, you don't talk about stakeholders. Price negotiation, I think we have mentioned here. Okay, price negotiation, commercial terms and conditions, ensuring beneficial agreements between suppliers and with the category strategy. Fancy words, again, my friend, keep it simple. Inventory management, okay, stock level checking, weekly reports to purchase head. So you used to do inventory management. Okay, for a youngster who was just a engineer, who was just a trainee engineer, he seems to be doing quite a lot of stuff. So it's not believable actually. Interaction with site engineers and other ensuring procedures are carried out to safety. If you're an engineer, I don't know, are you a supervisor? What are you doing? Because you're mentioning too many things. Preparing a strategy for negotiation through detailed cost analysis. So you're preparing a strategy for negotiation, vague terms, ensuring timely delivery of material. Improve profits by nearly 10%. 10% is huge, my dear friend. Don't bullshit. Okay. Education, he has a BE in electronics. Okay, electronics from India. Okay, from India. You don't have to mention your 12th, and you don't need to mention your 10th. So other things he knows, education and technical skills. Okay, he knows how to operate on PLC. That's good. You mentioned this. PLC software. So this is where the technical side comes in. So the technical side is always beneficial because it makes you stand out. Okay. We can put all this in a different heading altogether. So its education is here, is technical skills. All these are technical skills. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just coupling this down into all whatever is needed. Okay, additional skills, he knows AutoCAD. Okay, so all this is important. This is what makes the resume stand out, the technical skills. In fact, I would recommend for him to put his technical skills above education. Okay. Okay. Now he states his achievements. I don't know what are his achievements. Being a youngster, awarded the best project in 8th semester. You don't need to put anything of your college because nothing what you put in your college is of any use in the real world. Okay, there's a certification here. You can mention that. Okay, certification. Certifications. Okay. Skill development program. Okay, you can just mention that. Don't need to say that you participated. Areas of interest: playing volleyball, football, nobody cares. Traveling, clay modeling, nobody cares. Personal skills: sincerity, capabilities, good verbal, non-verbal communication, time management, optimistic and dedicated, nobody cares about all this. Personal details: he's put his father's name, which nobody wants. His mother's name, nobody cares. His marital status, he's unmarried, nobody cares. Languages known, he just knows English and 2 other regional languages nobody knows. I'm flexible to work in any country. No, well, if you are applying in the Middle East, obviously you should be flexible. I hereby declare, nobody wants this statement. Okay, so overall we got a resume that has content enough for just about 1 page. Okay, in terms of expertise, I like the technical skills because the technical skills shows that he knows something more than a normal person. Now let's say we can make this resume down to nearly a page. Okay, nearly a page where it is, you know, it has more value. Now for someone as young as this, I would say that you can look on gaining a training position. Okay, is a engineering professional with knowledge in PLCs, SCADA, HMI, and okay. I'm just giving him a rough, very rough kind of profile summary. Okay, he has stated that he has worked 1 year here, is currently working here, and he has worked for a few months here. Expertise, this is what he's good at, vendor development. Okay, so now let's kind of have a look at his resume. We have a profile summary, which is good. Experience, which is average. Expertise, we need to, add value to him being an engineer, because there are too many things here. The technical skills is good because it adds value to him being an engineer. His education adds value to him to being an engineer. Certifications also adds value to him being an engineer. So the only weak area that I see is here. Okay, what I would focus more on is instead of saying vendor, development, price negotiation with vendor, logistics, scheduling, and tracking of multiple projects. See, here he has mentioned too many vague things. Okay, so what I would normally do is this, I would put it as a different point altogether. Okay. Okay, I put all these points because these are these are miscellaneous skills that he has. Vendor management. Okay, vendor management. Okay, these are not core engineering related responsibilities. So if you're talking of someone who is an engineer, okay, he is an electrical, I'm not too sure if he's an electrical engineer. Suppose, let's assume that he's an electrical engineer. Okay, then everything should be based on, okay, electrical engineer here, experience should be electrical engineer, expertise. The first thing what he should mention is electrical engineering, his experience in electrical engineering. Then the technical skills also focuses on that, education and certifications. This is what would summarise as a proper resume for an electrical engineer. Rest, whatever extra that he put, his mother, father, brother, sister, nobody cares. And yes, please keep in mind that if you're going to position yourself as a training engineer, especially in the Middle East, nobody's interested to employ you, because in the Middle East, they don't want trainees. They want people with experience. So if this youngster wants to get a job in Dubai, UAE, what I would suggest for him to do is land there, but make sure that he has contacts in different companies and take up a very low level paying job as a trainee and start off fresh. But obviously he needs to work on his resume and make it much more better. And the second thing is work on his interview skills, because he needs to sell himself. So overall, this is more or less a rough analysis of his resume. And yes, last if not the least, I would put personal details and recommendations. Recommendations of people that he has worked with. So this is how I would redesign his resume from what it was here, with unnecessary stuff that he put, his mother's name, father's name, is he married or single, and putting his all this passport number, date of birth, and where he's from, India. So I hope this gives you an idea how to make a resume if you are a fresher, because obviously he's a fresher, and how you can make yourself stand out and get a job. So hope this gives you value. Like the video, thumbs up. Don't like it, thumbs down. This is me signing off for now. Take care.